The summer season might be coming to a close in August, but there's a lot of different stuff that's going to be launching from Marvel. There's five things that I think everybody needs to know about what's coming out from Marvel. I'm Stan, and this is Detail Comics. What's up, everybody? In this week's weekly one-shot, I'm going to be talking about the Marvel solicitations for August of 2018. There are five things in particular that I think that everybody should know about, especially if you're a Marvel Comics fan. First things first, let's talk about the extermination of the X-Men. If you've been paying attention to the after stories of a lot of the different X-Men comic books that have been coming out recently, you've seen the insinuation that there's a big event coming for Marvel's mutants. So with the OG X-Men causing rifts in time and having the transportation of them into the future causing consequences and ripples throughout the Marvel universe, we actually get to see the kind of culmination of those things, and Extermination is going to redefine the way the mutants fit into the universe forever. So with Ed Brisson taking on the writing details, and then Pepe Larraz, who just did Avengers No Surrender, taking on the art, this is going to be a story that is going to kind of capture the essence of Marvel's mutants. So I'm excited to see where this one goes, and it's one that if you guys are a fan of the X-Men, you really need to pay attention to. Then on to number two, we see that the Hunt for Wolverine comes to a roadblock, or a dead end. So Charles Soule is going to be picking up where he left off in Weapon Lost, as well as the Hunt for Wolverine issue number 1 that he came through with. And we've got Dead Ends, which is going to be kind of the conclusion of all the other different storylines that are going on with Wolverine in these Hunt for Wolverine books. To be honest with you, I feel like it's a bit overwhelming to have these 4 different separate storylines come to a conclusion with no real resolution, but that's what it looks like based on the solicitations for Dead Ends. But hopefully we actually get Wolverine back in some kind of capacity a little bit before then, or actually at the end of the issue, so that way we've got kind of a conclusion to it. To leave it open-ended would just be very frustrating for fans that want to see Logan return back to the fray and the pages of their favorite comic books. At number 3, we have one of the hottest books to come out of Marvel Fresh Start, and that is Venom. According to records, they had 200,000 issues printed for the first issue, and they've all sold out, going on to a second print, which has got Ryan Stegman's art in it. So with Venom comes a lot of other different things. So Mike Costa and Mark Bagley are going to return to Venom, and they're going to do the First Host storyline, which is a 5-part miniseries, so that's something that you guys should be looking out for, as well as Donny Cates partnering up with a new artist to do Venom, like V-E-N-A-M, as if it's Vietnam, dealing with the story of the symbiote soldiers that we saw inside Venom issue number 1. So while that's not necessarily something that I desired, it's definitely an interesting concept, and that's only a one-shot, so I'm thinking about picking that one up, and if you like Mark Bagley's art, you always take the opportunity to pick him up on a Spider-Man book. Getting into thing number 4, let's talk about the welcoming of the West Coast Avengers. So the West Coast Avengers has been a book that's been running for years upon years upon years, and we've had a variety of different Avengers books over the last 3 or 4 years as well, so Uncanny Avengers, US Avengers, all those kind of different things. But to complement the main Avengers title, we're going to be getting West Coast Avengers, and this isn't necessarily the team that you're really expecting. We have Hawkeye, and then another Hawkeye. So Kate Bishop and Clint Barton are going to be on this team, but they're also going to be teaming up with a guy named Fuse, as well as Quentin Quire's Kid Omega, Gwenpool, and America Chavez. So it's not the type of team that you'd really be expecting, but with Kelly Thompson on writing detail in this colorful cast of characters, West Coast Avengers looks like it could be a really fun ride, if not very funny, but adventurous at the same time. So it's got a very West Coast vibe. This is very much Avengers LA in terms of the actual composition of the team, so I'm excited to see what kind of different flavor it can bring to the Marvel Universe. To finish things off, let's talk about the Fantastic Four. Number 5 is the Fantastic Four, simply because Fantastic Four is everywhere inside Marvel when it comes to August. Not only do we have issue number 1 launching, but we have a whole host of variant covers that are dealing with the different eras of the Fantastic Four, making their way onto a lot of the major books. It's to the point where I'm thinking about grabbing all of them, whether I pick up the book or not, just telling my comic book shop, hey, if you can give me the Fantastic Four variant cover, just throw it into my pull list and I'll pay you for it, just because they've teamed up with a lot of really fantastic artists to do this. So while I'm super excited for where Dan Slott's going to be taking the team and how Sarah Pichelli is going to be portraying these individual characters, there's a lot of different history that needs to go on here, as well as the continuation of Marvel's 2-in-1, which is one of the best comic books coming out. I'm really excited to see what kind of dynamic that Chip Zdarsky and Dan Slott can pull between these two stories. If the Human Torch and the Thing are still out in the multiverse trying to find the family, what's going to be going on inside the Fantastic Four storyline that Dan Slott's planning on telling? So, is this something that takes place in the future, something that takes place in the now, something that takes place in the past? What could it really be? But also be on the lookout for the reprint of Fantastic Four number 1. There's a facsimile or something along those lines that's going to be appearing as well alongside Fantastic Four number 1. So, Fantastic Four is the color of the month. But I want to know what you guys guys are excited about as well. Are you thinking about the Punisher number 1 and 2, which is going to be coming out as well? Infinity Wars is going to be dropping issue 1 and number 2. There's a lot of different things that are going on in August, so hit me up in the comments down below and we can start that conversation. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to get more news, reviews, and commentary on comic books, comic book movies, comic book TV shows and games, and anything and everything inside the world of comics.